The 32-year-old Munchausen syndrome via proxy victim expresses regret for the past and her hopes for the future in an open and exclusive conversation. One of the existential queries Gypsy Rose Blanchard has had more than 8 years to consider while incarcerated is what's in a name? About her own nickname and the story behind it. Clavane D.D. Blanchard, her mother, gave her at birth, although she claims I was never told. Was she really named for the well-known burlesque dancer Gypsy Rose Lee from the 1930s? She is unable to be certain. But I looked into Gypsy Lee's life a little, admits 32-year-old Blanchard of the late celebrity. Her mother compelled her to become famous by acting as a stage mom. That struck me as being pretty intriguing. Modern Gypsy has spent a significant portion of the last 10 years studying the tales of her mother and herself, learning a great deal about their sinister, bizarre, and now notorious voyage. She entered a guilty plea to second-degree murder in 2016 after she and her ex-boyfriend Nicholas Nick Godejohn planned to kill Dee, her 48-year-old mother, who Godejohn fatally stabbed on June 9, 2015, while Gypsy was waiting in the lavatory at her Springfield, Missouri home. Due in large part to the fact that Gypsy was the victim of one of the worst-known cases of Munchausen syndrome by proxy, a rare psychological disorder in which a carer, usually a person's mother, seeks attention and medical attention for exaggerated or made-up symptoms of a child in their care. The murder and the trial that followed attracted international attention. For Gypsy, this meant a childhood filled with lies about imaginary ailments and years of excruciating treatments that her mother deceitfully claimed Gypsy desperately needed medical interventions from everyone from nurses to doctors to close family members. What was real is that Gypsy admits, I was desperate to get out of that situation. She now thinks her mother suffered from untreated mental illness. Looking back, I wish someone had recognized the warning signs and assisted her, she says. I would have benefited from helping her. This tale has seen its share of legal action and Hollywood productions, including the 2017 HBO film Mommy Dead and Dearest and the 2019 Smash series The Act on Hulu. However, Gypsy has never before revealed the whole story of her trip, including fresh allegations of family members' sexual assault during childhood and specifics about her post-murder existence. Her release from the Chillicothe Correctional Center in Missouri occurred on December 28. She was approved for parole 2 years short of her 10-year term. The Prison Confessions of Gypsy Rose Blanchard, a new Lifetime documentary series, will retell her complex journey as she experiences life without restrictions for the first time, with a premiere date of January 5. Gypsy, who was just married, talks about her survival in an exclusive jail interview conducted a few days before her release. She also discusses how she's coming to terms with forgiving herself and her mother for the unimaginable. Gypsy exclaims, I've been waiting for this for so long. I'm prepared to be free. When Gypsy thinks back to her initial release from Chillicothe Jail in 2016, she remembers the paradox of feeling freer than she had ever felt. As soon as I walked in, I thought, this is amazing. I can make friends and make my own decisions. Even though it's restricted and controlled, it still exceeded what I had previously. Life before was, as she puts it, a continual, oppressive form of captivity. Gypsy was reared by her single mother, Dee in southern Louisiana. She did not spend much time with her father, Rod, since he had left Dee before Gypsy was born. Gypsy recalls, I can remember back to maybe when I was 3 years old. My mother was strolling with me, holding my hand, and I was holding a plush version of Barney. Despite being a simple memory, it was pleasant. Dee had already started to weave a hazardous web of lies regarding her daughter's health throughout those formative years. At age 7, she forced Gypsy to use a wheelchair after persuading doctors that she was incapable of walking. Later on, there was a long list of other made-up illnesses for which Dee shaved Gypsy's hair, including bogus cancer diagnoses and digestive problems needing feeding tubes. Gypsy claims that having her salivary glands removed from her neck operation she had in 2007 was the most agonizing. They performed 2 incisions, and the anesthesia didn't work effectively on me. It was quite difficult to recover. I still have the ongoing side effect of always needing to clean my throat. And to make me drool during the appointment, my mom applied Orajel to my gums, which is why I had surgery. She told the doctor that I drooled excessively. Rod continues, when she did, we thought, wow, she's beating the odds. It was concerning that her age was being kept a secret. I thought, why are you treating her like this? Recalls Rod, who had by then remarried to Christy, Gypsy's stepmother. Dee maintained our separation. I never wanted to exacerbate Gypsy's brainwashing because I kind of knew she was. I was a total failure in this endeavor. I'll acknowledge that right now. Gypsy claims that violence sprang from her teenage rebellion. When it comes to her mother's verbal abuse, the moment you put your foot down, it's bad, in addition to hitting, punching, slapping. But Gypsy's only means of expression was DD. Gypsy told her mother that she had been assaulted by an older family member when she was 19, according to the woman. Gypsy estimates that it lasted for around a year. She continues, saying that her mother later let me know that he did the same thing to her when she was a child. The family member has refuted the accusation in the docuseries. He did not respond to people's requests for comment. It makes me wonder what other kinds of abuse my mom suffered, remarks Gypsy in retrospect. Because I doubt that anyone simply decides to expose their child to unhealthy experiences when they wake up. After convincing medical professionals to schedule Gypsy's larynx surgery, Dee was getting ready to do just that once more in 2015. Gypsy explains that the purpose was to address my vocal cords to figure out why my voice was so high-pitched. The doctors thought it might be a breathing problem. I was just not having it at that point, the woman recalls. Gojon and Gypsy were romantically involved online, and Gypsy convinced him to assist her in killing Dee. It's not like I didn't consider all of the alternatives to murder. I even ran away from home, but she caught me in 4 hours and brought me back, putting legal documents in place stating that she was my power of attorney and declaring me incapable, Gypsy recalls. I was making a lot of effort to find a different solution. Ultimately, she decided on murder. One evening, Nick promised to do everything in his power to keep you safe, she remembers. I then asked, anything? Yes, he said. Gypsy does not go into detail about how Gojon killed her mother. One day after Dee's stabbing was found by the authorities, he and Gypsy were apprehended at his Big Bend, Wisconsin residence. Gojon was found guilty of first-degree murder and is currently serving a life sentence in a Missouri prison. Although he has said in previous interviews that I would do it again to assist Gypsy, his co-defendant recoils at the idea. Gypsy acknowledges that she feels responsible for putting him in that situation and continues, I regret it every single day. Nonetheless, he was also responsible for the murderous crime. Everybody is given an option. Her existence by then was even more miserable, never really her own. I told my lawyer that I would commit suicide if I received a life sentence while I was awaiting my sentencing. I can't remain a prisoner forever. She felt hopeful when her sentence was reduced in light of the abuse she had endured. I received my GED in the years that followed. Even though it took me 5 years, I'm quite proud of myself because I had never truly attended school. She has also acquired vital life skills. Gypsy claims that her mother did not teach her much. Another prisoner who acts as a mother figure taught me how to use a tampon because I had no idea how to use one. I've been able to learn some great lessons from my experience being incarcerated among ladies who have gone around the block. Gypsy's favorite prison memory is of exchanging vows with spouse Ryan Anderson in 2022. When he foolishly mailed her a letter in 2020, that is how the two met. After watching Mommy Dead and Dearest, the 37-year-old special education teacher from Louisiana said, I told her what her story meant to me. He was taken aback upon receiving a reply from Gypsy. When we emailed, I got butterflies, but the first time I heard her voice was really overwhelming. Thanks to their connection during the epidemic, Gypsy adds, Ryan has seen me through. He is so patient with me. I can be a real pain in the feels. He is skilled at calming me down. Initially opposed to the union, Gypsy's father and stepmother developed a close relationship with her while tending to her needs while inside, lasting 8 years. She can be impulsive and leap into things without thinking. Rod says, raising the possibility that she might struggle in a married relationship. However, his spouse Christy continues, "I told her I'll be there to pick up the pieces if it doesn't work out." It really should. Ryan is a wonderful man. Gypsy is eager to have a family with her spouse, but she is afraid of the very difficult talk she will have to have with her children regarding